Hello and welcome. This is Doyle Buehler, and this is the Digital Leadership Breakthrough Show. And today I'm going to be talking about a digital workflow and some of the elements that lead us to believe that things can get easier, and actually they are. But if you put it in a little bit different perspective as well, and currently we see things in terms of buckets like SEO buckets, and they're more sort of functional. But what I'm going to show you is sort of how we can be more strategic about some of the buckets that we use to be able to advance what we do, and how we become more efficient as a business, and more able to create a proper digital workflow that makes it easier actually at the end of the day for growth marketing and what sort of thing. So welcome to the Digital Leadership Breakthrough Show. My name is Doyle Buehler. As I mentioned, I help leaders, entrepreneurs, and disruptors scale and grow and transform their business and sales through digital leadership. And I'm the author of the book on digital strategy called The Digital Delusion. And I'm here to show you what real world digital strategy will actually work for your business. In today's show, I'm talking about the steps of a digital workflow and how we can use these again to get everything organized. And what I've got today is typically we see a lot of elements that we really kind of have to be aware of, and making sure that we manage them properly. And if you look at them and kind of put them all into place, there's a lot of them that are needed to be taken care of, right? You have your branding, content, training, strategy, visuals, videos, analytics, social media, mobile, metrics, ROI, and all these things. And the problem is that how do you actually organize this? Because again, what we were talking about earlier is that we look at buckets that currently exist. It's like, okay, well, here's a SEO bucket and here's a website bucket and that sort of thing. But we kind of need to think a bit more strategically. And that's kind of where I've been developing this workflow, this digital workflow based upon some core concepts. And so we need to take these elements and how do we organize them? Because as a business, you're getting all this information from pretty much absolutely everywhere, and you need to make it simple. You need to make it easier to understand, so that you can focus on your business, not, what do I need here and what do I need there and that sort of thing. So it's really important to understand that a lot of these did come from what I call the disciplines of digital leadership. And I've talked about that before, that how do we actually define digital leadership? How do we actually use it to be able to work properly? And in working in the field for 14 plus years, I've found that there are 7 core areas that most businesses that are able to harness these types of things are then able to group it and are able to work more efficiently and that sort of thing. So the first one is they have a sound digital strategy, right? It connects and communicates who they are online. They have developed a detailed content plan that helps them discover and empower their voice online. The third bucket is they have learned how to use social media properly as part of an ever-growing community. Number 4, they understand that branding, visuals, and videos are a significant part of what they develop and create online for their audience. And number 5 is there's alignment with their website, their content, their strategy, and their sales. Number 6, they've established and continue to develop a sales funnel and social selling process that is continuous and always working for their business. And number 7, they realize that advertising and analytics are critical to their long-term success. So these 7 elements are really kind of where we need to start to take a look. So we've got this confusing array of all different things all at once coming at you as the a marketer, business leader, whatever, entrepreneur. How do we organize that? Well, first we have to take a look at, okay, what is really critical here? So if we can put these into those buckets, we can actually move a lot quicker. And so this is really what we call a digital workflow. And what it does is it helps us organize those elements in terms of the digital leadership side, and how do we actually produce value from it. So these are new buckets that you can actually use to be able to help organize your business, your content, everything that you produce in the digital space. It gives a much more strategic side of things. It helps you understand quickly, where does this bucket go? What do I need to do with it? And that sort of thing. And again, it's more strategic. It's not just a functional. It's not just a widget. It's not just a nut and bolt kind of scenario. It's how do you actually use this to be able to create a working workflow, working process rather, that helps you with your business. So if you look at it from this perspective, this really can help quite substantially, I believe, because you can put everything into these buckets. And I've got a couple of tools coming out that will show you exactly how to do that. But the first one is coming down with a strategy, right? So strategy you have to look at regularly, and I do talk about that quite often, but you have to make sure that you do review it, you do take the time to understand it. Moving on with content, everything that you produce related to content needs to go into the content bucket, because that then gives you an opportunity to evaluate it and take a look and see how you can actually use it and that sort of thing. The third bucket is called your social and sharing. So this is, again, building the community side. It's not just about broadcasting how amazingly awesome you are in social media and that sort of thing. It's also about sharing. It's also about building content. It's also about building a community and keeping in that human side of things. The fourth element here is your video content and visuals. So again, this is really important, because this is the bucket that says that I need to have my visual identity. I need to have my video identity as well that works for me in my business. And that's how you do that. You put everything into this video and visuals bucket. Number 5 is web alignment. So this is making sure that the pieces of your website fit properly together. This includes, is the site responsive? Is it mobile? Is it, are you providing a gift? Are you providing, those elements that people are looking for? Do you manage and maintain your digital ecosystem? Making sure that, again, your website looks at from the strategic side. Is everything connected? Is everything congruent across everything? The 6th bucket is online lead generation and sales funnels. And a lot of businesses kind of drop the ball on this. They don't have a real return on investment. They don't have a real process that can actually work and help them in their business. So they kind of leave it up to chance. And do you have actual effective campaigns? Do you actually have active, effective sales processes and buyers process that help your audience get to that point where they're ready to move forward with you? And the last bucket that we can use here for a framework, a workflow, is looking at advertising analytics and dashboards. So advertising, obviously, to promote it outside of your circle of influence, but also analytics to see if it's working, and dashboards to be able to measure if it's actually working in the first case, and give you a quick look at information and that sort of thing. So those are the main elements of the digital workflow. And this is actually all going to be part of my upcoming book that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. Getting a little bit nervous here, but entitled Breakthrough: Unleash Your Remarkable Brand Value, Influence, and Authority, where I go in detail on just those concepts of what is a digital workflow, how can it actually work, and what you can do about it and that sort of thing. So, all right, excellent. So I wanted to quickly go through that session, give you some ideas of how can you actually organize your business with a digital workflow. How can you take those disparate pieces and apply them in a systematic manner? And that's really kind of my mission in life, is to kind of create that organization that other businesses can use as well, because that's what makes your business easier. That's what makes it more profitable and much more efficient as well. So, all right. So that's all I have. Thanks for watching. There are 3 core categories that I go through as part of these digital leadership Facebook Live events, and to give you the strategies that you need to succeed. The State of Digital, where I talk about specific ideas and strategies that are happening now in the industry and what you need to do about them. I also have a digital leadership guest where I interview an expert in the field and discuss their strategies for digital success. And then finally, I have digital discoveries, which is what we talked about now, talking about specific challenges or methods of doing business and that sort of thing. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a question or comment or an emoji. I appreciate those as well. My name is Doyle Buehler, and I will see you online.